Hey folks, and welcome to Greg's Golf Shack. Today I'm out on the course and I'm going to do a little test. We're going to do graphite shafts versus steel shafts in the irons. So I'm not going to be hitting driver, not going to be hitting hybrids, only irons for a par 4, a par 3, and a par 5, and kind of see the results. Now these club setups are very similar, so we're just going to play each kind of iron and see what happens. I've got a red dot that will be used for the steel shafts, and the same kind of ball with a black dot to represent the graphite shafts. So when it comes to equipment, I'm using a Maltby TE forged iron head with a recoil 680 graphite shaft. I intended to use a very similar profile club, my Callaway X forged, which both are a little bit of a muscle back with minimal perimeter weighting, and that would have been a steel shaft that is a Project X 6.0, but I rushed out of the house pretty quick and grabbed the wrong iron. So I'm actually comparing them with the Maltby brand STI2. These are cavity back irons with some perimeter weighting. Steel shaft, it's a Score LT True Temper. They're about 120 grams. These shafts are about 85 grams, so there's quite a difference there. Now, right out of the gates, the steel shafted club should have the advantage because it is cavity back, so that should give a little bit more forgiveness. It might even give a little bit more distance, but these clubs are actually lower lofted, probably 3 to 4 degrees stronger loft than these. So it'll be interesting to compare the two and see what happens. For the short wedges, like sand wedges, I'm using the exact same model of club. It's a Maltby TSW forged wedge. This is a 54-degree sand wedge. Both are the same, but one's got a True Temper stiff shaft, and the other has a Kurokaze graphite stiff shaft. So we'll see how these perform. Let the race begin. Now we're going to be starting on number 8 at Pippy Park on the Admiral's green course. I'm playing, forward a set of tees just because we're using irons and not hitting any bigger clubs. So let's see how it goes. All right, we're right out of the gates here, first thing in the morning, so no practice. Hopefully we can hit the ball. All right, graphite is away, good shot. Let's see if the steel can measure up. Now the steel shafts are about 35 grams heavier than the graphite shafts. So that feels a little bit different in the swing profile. So I'm gonna have to be careful with that. All right, we're in the rough. I pulled across that one a little bit, but it's safe, but so far, graphite was a little more accurate. Now I know it comes down to the swing as well, but it is what it is. All right, using the steel shafted club, came up a little shorter than the graphite. That's mainly because, we were in the rough, we didn't get any rollout. So I'm about 125 to the pin, but it's going downhill. So I'm gonna take a gap wedge in the steel shafted club and see if we can get there. Still trying to find the swing, very early. I pulled it a little bit, but we're on the green. Okay, with the graphite, we're about 110 yards to the pin. We got to roll down the slope here. I'm still gonna take a gap wedge though and try and swing a little bit smoother. I don't really want to overpower it, but it's wet and I don't want to really slide under the ball with a sand wedge. So I'm thinking, a partial gap wedge in there. Feels good. Pretty good shot. We got 2 putts at it. And graphite's a little more accurate so far. All right, this is mainly about the irons, but we might as well putt these out just for fun. This is the steel shafted approach. It's about 16, 17 feet or so. Let's give it a little right to left break. Ooh, not too bad. Tap in par. All right, the graphite approach felt a little bit better, but it just kind of rolled off this bank a little bit, just into the fringe, and we're about 14 feet here. So both were pretty close. Oh, broke up the hill, but 2 tap-ins. So far, par, even Steven. Duck in for a little rain break here under some trees. Wait for it to clear off until we move up to the par 3. Not so bad so far. The interesting thing, not all graphite shafts are the same. In fact, there's so many different kinds of graphite shafts. Now, I'm not an equipment expert, but with steel, you just get some limited options. Hollow steel, they can do some stuff with steel. But graphite, they can adjust the thickness, the bend points, the kick points, all these different things, the weight. There's so many different variations, and that's why graphite tends to be a little bit more expensive. With these graphite shafts, they're actually a 1/2 inch longer than steel shafts to help balance the weight, the swing weight of the clubs. Now, I'm not going to get onto those details. I'm not an expert in that, but it's just interesting to kind of go back and forth, not only between shafts that are lighter than the steel, but also a little bit longer. And I'm striking the longer shafts a little bit better so far, so I'm not sure what it is, the swing weight or the length. We're going to see as time goes on. Maybe go visit a club fitter and see what might be best for me. All right, everything's a little wet after that little interlude there, but we're here now. This is number 16 at Pippy Park. Beautiful par 3. Looks pretty easy, but it's deceptively challenging, especially I normally play it from the gold tees, which is about 150, 155 up the hill. Wind is usually a factor. From the silver tees here, it plays about 105, but uphill as well, so maybe 110, 115. Now, I'm going to go with steel first this time. Graphite had the honors last time, so just to mix it up. And this is normally, a nice comfortable gap wedge, just a smooth one. But we just hit gap wedges on the last one on our approaches. So I'm going to try something a little different with both these clubs. I'm going to take a pitching wedge and try to smooth it a little bit more. Maybe, just under a 3/4 swing. See if we can land it a little softer. See how these clubs react. So steel is on deck. Not too bad. All right, graphite is on deck. Same club, pitching wedge. And I'm going to try that same sort of smooth, partial swing. That felt really nice. I should do that more often. So we're hoping for good contact. All right, cut across it, fading in a little bit. Both were good shots here. One's a little left of the flag, one's a little right. They're both just a tad long, which is okay. And both are 16 feet. So pretty identical. We'll put them out just for fun. This was the steel shafted, our first shot. Let's see, this is going to break right to left again. These right to left breakers. Get in there. Oh, that was close. All right, I think this one is going to break left to right just a little, especially as it gets to the hole. Oh, it hit that little patch. Looks like a little footprint scuff. Pretty good. I think that could have gone in, but it is a tie game between these two shafts. Now folks, this is a very important part of the game, is taking care of the course. That means replacing your divots or filling them with the sand if the course provides it, but also fixing your pitch marks. Especially when it's really soft out here, you get these big dents and you don't want to be putting over that. So you get these tools, a little fork kind of thing, and you don't lift up. You go around the hole and you push towards the hole to fill it in. Don't go too hard. You don't want to hear any ripping of any kind of roots or anything like that. You just want to pop it in there and then use your putter or step on it, whichever works depending on your shoes. There you go. Good as new. I don't mind putting over that one bit. Take care of the course will take care of you. All right, we're gonna try a par 5 now. This is number 17 at Pippy Park. This is a really good hole to test irons on because it's a perfect layup hole. There's some trouble before the green. There's water kind of on both sides, so it can be a good strategy to actually play. I mean, you could take a risk and hit a driver and try to get there, and sometimes I do, and it can work out. But for the safe play, you know, we don't always have to take a big driver and risk, you know, a shot that we're not too fond of. So playing some irons can work well. I'm going to give the graphite shafted clubs the honors here because I think that putt would have dropped had I fixed that little foot scuff there. But what I'm going to do is use 4 irons here. Just because it's a long par 5, I'd like to hit a 4 iron. Now, I don't usually hit 4 irons on the course. I like hybrids. I like a 3 and a 4 hybrid. So it could be interesting to see what happens here. Now, that's only a few swings this morning. I've been working on some swing changes, but you know, I got to kind of warm up to get them really working. So I feel like I'm kind of falling back on some bad habits, but hey, it's equal for both clubs, so we're seeing how it turns out for graphite and steel. All right, graphite, let's take this 4 iron, see what we can do. Not bad, faded it a little bit. We're going to be in the rough, but if we're laying up, no big deal. No damage with that one, little fade. You know, steel might benefit from being the second ball here, but let's see. So far, that hasn't really been the case. So, okay. Steel shafted 4 iron. Let's see if we can catch some fairway. I felt a little smoother, little fade into the fairway. Interesting. Just giving the right of way here. Go on. It's okay. Don't sit there. Are these movable objects? We're over 200 to the middle of the green, and it's a back pin. Like I said, there's water here, everything. I just want to lay it up here safely. I'm actually going to be taking a 54-degree wedge, a sand wedge from here. So this is a tough thing to do on a par 5, but I want to give myself a nice approach, a safe one. I don't want to flirt with any water. So, first I have to grab the right club. This is graphite. All right, I got the right club now. Same club, 54-degree, but it's a steel shaft. And it's funny because the steel shafted 4 iron came up a little bit shorter, even though that other one was sort of a weak fade in the rough. I cut off more of the hole over there. And that's interesting because those irons, I think, you know, the steel are a little bit of a stronger loft. So I'm surprised that I got a little bit more out of the graphite. So let's just lay up this ball here. Very tough to hit a sand wedge for your second shot on a par 5. Well, I chunked that. That was a really awkward swing, but I'm safe and I have an approach to the green, so no damage done yet. I might get a little chancy with this one. I mean, the flag's right there. I've got to carry some water. It's deep rough, so I can't go for the flag, but I'm looking to just carry the water maybe. It's one thing to try and convince yourself to hit a sand wedge on your second shot on a par 5. It's even more challenging to hit a sand wedge sort of away from the flag on a second shot. So I'm going to take this risk with a 6 iron graphite shaft. Hopefully I can get it out. Looks like it could be a bit of a flyer even though it's sitting down. See if I can just get it down in front of the green there, short of the bunker in that grass. This is risky. Above the feet. Need a good swing here. It's looking good. Yep, right where we called it, left of the bunker, in front of the green. Came out of there nice, bit of an abbreviated swing. I'm working on that follow through with my swing changes, but the club worked, the shaft worked. We're looking good. All right, back to the steel shaft. I don't have my rangefinder, but I'm guessing this is about 135, 140 to the middle of the green. It's a blue pin, it's back, but it's way up the hill kind of. So I'm playing it for a 150 shot. The air's still pretty damp. Let's see if I can adjust to this 1/2 inch shorter shaft here. I've got an 8 iron. I think that should be enough to get it there comfortably. Let's see what we can do. Felt pretty good. Get up. Oh, that came up short. Looks like we're going to be putting the wedges to the test. We're back to our graphite clubs here, about 45 yards or so to the pin. There's a bunker in front of the green there, so I don't want to come up short, and I have a little bit of an uphill lie. So I don't want to take my 58 degree because I don't want to loft it up too high and have it come up short. So I've got the 54 degree sand wedge, graphite shaft. Not a bad spot to be in too on this par 5 with irons only. So hopefully I can get this close and give myself a birdie chance. So sort of a soft chip up there with the sand wedge. All right, little right, could be a little short of the flag. We'll see when we get up there. But we've got a putt. All right, this little short approach with that steel shafted 8 iron left us in kind of a diabolical position here. I've got a bunker here, a lot of green to work with though. Deep rough, uphill slope. I don't want to take too high lofted a club because I'm afraid I'll just slide right underneath it, put it into the bunker here. So I'm going to take a gap wedge and try to chip it out, get it over that bunker, over that mound, and see if we can roll it out towards the pin. Not too bad. Got a little bounce to the left. I could have given it a little bit more actually, but we've got a par putt. Okay, so it comes down to the putts. This is a birdie putt for our graphite shafted iron play. I think it might break a little right to left, but not a whole lot. Tough to get the speeds because the greens are wet. So let's see how we do here. Now, before I hit this, I mean, just look at this view. St. John's, the ocean back there, the city back there. It's amazing out here on this course. The views all around the course are impeccable. Well, let's see if we can make an impeccable putt. Little soft, little tentative. Okay, this is a par putt for our irons. Couple of bad shots there, bad luck. Let's see if we can get it in. I learned something from that other putt, that it's going to be a little slower than I think. Oh my goodness. That was a nice putt. All right. We got our bogey with the steels. I've got a shorty here, but it's not a gimme. This is for our graphite shafted. Grass is kind of going every direction here. Grain plays a part. So I think I should just try to power this in. Oh, I missed it. So 2 bogeys. That is a tie game between the graphite and the steel shafts. But you know, it comes down to the individual and what works for you, what works best for you. Now for me, I was seeing a little bit more consistency and better feel with the graphite shafts. And now that I compare them back to back like this, I really like them. It feels good, but a fitting will really tell the true story of what works best for me. So just interesting. I hope that gives you some food for thought when you're going to see a fitter to see suggest things that you'd like to try, or if you're looking for a new set of clubs and want to try something, graphite shafts or steel shafts, it's up to you. I hope you like this content. Please consider liking the video. I'd love it if you subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. We'll see you next time on Greg's Golf Shack.